Hello everyone, this is Suresh from Azure Databricks. So today our topic is how to encrypt columns using Databricks SQL editor. So here we are using Databricks. In Databricks we have SQL editor. So that SQL we are using for doing this task. So if you see here, I have one mapping sheet. So I have one scenario like I have one dimension table and it has these many columns. Okay. And based on these columns, I have to create one table. And this, if you see this side I have values. So these values I have to insert into this particular table. So since this is lookup table and this requirement is only one time load. So that's why here it is not applicable either SCD type 1 or SCD type 2. So that's why we are not using Databricks Pyspark. So if it is SCD type 1 or SCD type 2, we'll create two notebooks. One notebook for creating table and other notebook to apply the logic of either SCD type 1 or type 2. Since it is one-time load, we are creating in using SQL. Okay, SQL code. So here, main logic is, if you see these values, no, so these values we have to insert. So here we have three values, A, B, and C for this particular column. And if you see manager code, so here also we have three values. So that means while inserting, no, so we should get final three rows we should get. And the main purpose is, what is the task in this table? So main task is to create encrypt for this particular column source ID. For this, what is the requirement is, so we have to concatenate these three columns. One is source name, that is this one. And second is source system ID, that is this one. Third one is valid from date time, that is this one. So what it has to do, first it has to concatenate these three columns. On top of that, we are using encrypt command. Okay, so that encrypt command, it will generate one number. So the main purpose is, so we don't want to show this column, mainly this column values. Instead of showing these values, we are generating one encrypt value. So this we'll see how to do in our SQL editor. So for this, first I'm going to Azure portal. In Azure portal, first I'm creating one Databricks, Azure Databricks workspace. So you can either type here like Azure Databricks, or if you have already in recent thing, you can click on this. Just click on this and just click here, create Azure Databricks service. It will open window. So here I am selecting resource group as Azure Lead, so which I already created. And workspace name I am giving as Azure Content. And remaining things I am keeping as it is. Okay, so this you can give it some name. Okay, so you can select other columns. So you can click on next and next. So because I am doing next, I am keeping all default values. So I am not doing any modifications. So at the end, you just click on review and create. So it will validate what are the details we given. So now validation is succeeded. You just click on create. So I am pausing video for a few seconds because for deployment, it will take some time. Yeah, see now our deployment is completed. Now I'm going to click on go to resource. I'm going to Azure Databricks resource. So this is the window. So here we can launch this workspace. Click on launch workspace. It will open a new window. Yes, so now Azure Databricks is opening. See, if you see here, we have SQL, and here we have SQL editor and SQL warehouse. Okay, just click on SQL editor. It will open the query window. Okay, so this is the query window here. And we have two. One is Hive Metastore, one more is samples. Okay, so before starting, we had to start the warehouse. Okay, and parallelly, we can. So I'm keeping the code here. So first I will explain this code. What is this code? See, first, since we don't have here schema, so first I'm trying to create schema DBO. Then I'm trying to create table with our as per mapping sheet based on these columns. I'm creating initially table. Then I'm trying to pass these values. Okay, since we have three values, 1, 2, 3, so we need three values need to insert. Okay, so here, if you see this one, no, base 64 AES encrypt, AES underscore encrypt is the command. So we are using to generate encryption value. So for that, what I'm doing, so here our condition is we have to concatenate these columns. Okay, so first one is source name. Source name is what is this one? A. If you see here, source name, first value is A. Okay, next source system. Second is source system ID. So source system ID I am taking as 3. Okay, so I am changing to 3. Okay, so source system ID. Third one is valid from date. So that is this one. So this value I am entering here. Okay, so I am using concat underscore W function to concatenate these three columns by with this colon. Okay, so first what it does, it concatenate these three column values. Then it will apply this function AES underscore encrypt. So this it will generate the encryption value. So if you see this syntax for AES encrypt, first we have to write function. So that is our main function is this one up to here, concat of three columns. Next one is we had to enter one string. Okay, so this string is either 16 digit number or 32. So depends on our wish we can enter here. So here for default, I took 16 digit string. So you can select as per your project. Suppose if you know your project name, you can enter your project name here. And I'm selecting ECB. So we have different types like, so I selected ECB and PKCS. If you see this function syntax, no, you will understand what is these things. Okay, so next, so remaining values I entered here, like source name, A, if you see first value, no, A, GM, sales, and these two dates, and Volvo 3, this current timestamp. So current timestamp I given get date. Okay, A, GM, sales, okay, like this. So here I did one mistake. Here I have to take B and C. Okay. So now I'll try to run this syntax. Okay. So first I try to creating schema. So as I told earlier, first we need to start the warehouse. So it will take some time. So I'm pausing video since it takes some time. Yeah, if you see under SQL warehouse, no, see this warehouse is starting. Okay, so you're taking default one and it got failed. So what I'll do, I'll delete this one, existing warehouse, and I will create new one. Click on create SQL warehouse. Give the name for your SQL warehouse. And then you select instead of 80 dbu, so I'm selecting 2x small 4 dbu. And I'm keeping serverless and remaining options I'm keeping default. Just click on create. Okay, so now this warehouse is running. Now just come back to SQL editor and now try to check here. I think DBO got created. Okay, so it is not created. I will try to run one more time. So you're telling that it is already created, already exists. So I cropped existing DBO and I recreated. See it's showing create schema DBO was successfully executed and it is added here. So now I'm trying to create table. See now table got created. Now I am inserting these values into this table. See earlier it shown error, no? So there was some mistake. This T, no, I missed agreement T. So now it got successfully inserted. So it telling 3 rows got inserted. So I am displaying the table. Okay. We'll see how this encryption created. For minimizing, no, we just click on this create log. See, so these are all the different values. See, there's something logic. Whatever is showing, no, AES encrypt. So background, it will create based on algorithm. Okay, based on algorithm, it will create these encryption values. Since we have 3 values, see it created 3 different encryption values and respective values are generated here. So you can see your table. So this how you can use this encryption command. This how you can create encryption values. Okay. So that's all this video. So if you really like this video, please subscribe my channel and click on like button. Thank you.